welcome to Community Connections, brought to you by the wonderful staff at the Gum Springs Community Center. My name is Sam Otero, and today we're going to be talking about partnerships in technology. Joining me today, my colleague, fellow tech educator for Fairfax County, Mr. Al Luna. Al, what is going on today, man? Thanks for coming on the show.
Always a pleasure to be with you, man. I know you're doing a great work, so I'm always happy to be part of whatever you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, we make a good team, and that's what we want to talk about today. We want to talk about these partnerships that we've established respectively, individually, between our tech centers in our part of Fairfax County and the Fairfax County public schools after-school programs, and how recently Mr. Al and myself have blended our programs into a 2-day-a-week exciting STEAM opportunity for youth. So, Al, tell me a little bit about you and your program up there in Reston. Tell us a little bit about your experience with NCS and how this partnership with FCPS came about.
Well, this is a long story, but I'll try to make it really short. And all started around 2006 when I was involved in the idea of developing learning centers or places where kids could come and use technology. And I'm talking about 2000, 2003, where computers were not available to a lot of segment of the population. So doing this kind of project was something interesting. And I met someone who got me into do this project with Fairfax County, which attracted me because of the connection with MIT, since this program is developed by MIT and implemented by many organizations around the world. And that's what got me into doing this type of project. And my background is in civil engineering. So in some way, somehow, what I was trying to do was give kids a chance to see the option through the eyes of a civil engineer and the opportunities for them to kind of see it from my point of view, from somebody who's been involved in engineering. And basically after that, I've just been doing this for almost, I would say about 17 years, something like that. And then I have a chance also to meet people like you and my coworkers and people around the world that do the same type of thing, and they try to bring technology and resources to kids so that can be some sort of inspiration for them to, I guess, achieve some goals in life, live life, and enjoy what we have. So that's in general the idea.
And it's one of the things that's so cool about this network that you're referring to, for our viewers that maybe aren't familiar with this. What Al's talking about is the global Clubhouse Network, and we are one of. I'm new here. Al, what are there's 6 or 7 Clubhouse tech centers in the county?
Yeah, we have about, I would say about 8. 6 of them are part of the network, the computer clubhouses.
That's right.
But in general, actually, it's called now the Clubhouse Network.
The Clubhouse Network, right?
In the past, it was when I joined, it was part of the Intel Computer Clubhouse Network, and they just branded with a different name, and now they're part of what is called the Clubhouse Network, which is supported by companies like Best Buy,
right,
Microsoft, etc. So is this conglomerate of organizations are working together to provide high technology for younger generations.
So what do you guys think of the new studio?
Oh, it's so amazing. I love it.
Awesome.
You think the kids in the community will be into this?
Oh,
they're
yeah.
gonna love it. They're going to love it.
I feel like I'm on the news.
Yes.
I'm about to get interviewed.
So we respectively run our own tech centers in our parts of the county. I'm down in South Alexandria. Al is up in Reston. And as we mentioned, we have tech centers all around the county. So you want to reach out to us and We'll let you know about where you can get plugged into this global network, learning all about cool technologies and your part of the county. Now, let's go ahead and get this caught up to where we are with our partnership with FCPS, because this is one of the things that I think is so cool about this, because we are technology leaders and we're really doing some cutting edge stuff in our communities. And of course, the school district has a need for engaging quality online educational programming. Both Al and I established relationships with FCPS for us to provide ongoing regular technology education through the FCPS after school programs. We'll tell you about that in a little bit. Al, how did that relationship come about for you?
Well, I think this idea started already a few years ago with people that used to work with or for NCS. And some of these people moved to Fairfax County Public Schools because it's pretty much the right combination of institutions. But also some members of NCS saw the opportunity to connect with this after school specialists that some of them were part of, used to be as workers for NCS or employees of NCS. And then it was a natural relation. In the past, computer clubhouses and tech centers have the opportunity to outreach to Fairfax County Public Schools, since 99% of our population, at least for the youth and the teenagers, come from Fairfax County Public Schools. We have another segment, which is adults and seniors, but the bulk of the idea was focusing on youth and how to help them to become part of the workforce and the society here in Fairfax County. So this was a great combination. And so by the time that I got to move to Reston, there was already some partnership going with after school programs. And it was done by members of the NCS family going to public schools locations and providing after school program. The one I started with a few years ago was Rachel Carson. And then we have a great specialist, after school specialist. I will say all these guys are awesome. But at that location, we have Adam Pawlowski and Kyle. But AJ was our main contact to bring this idea into reality, together with our director, Aurelia Gilley. So it was a great combination just a few years ago. And what happened is this event, this virus created the right conditions for technology centers to become this point where we could connect our technology with the schools and move forward. So basically, the virus helped us to obtain this level of collaboration that we have now.
Yeah,
and it's been spreading
sort of
through
born
the
out
other,
of necessity,
through the other
really.
counties. Yeah, it is basically it. So, and we have the tools and the resources and the capacity. So it was just a matter of time for this to happen. It just increased the speed, and it could happen.
Yeah, we've had a very similar, wonderfully productive experience down here in South County with our folks over in Whitman Middle School. Wherever you may be in our global viewing audience, this is Mr. E, and I'm coming to you today from the virtual studios that we call Gathering Steam. And we've got a group of people that are looking forward to having some fun and learning about 3D modeling. And, well, I'm going to be honest with you guys, because we love transparency and promote honesty here. This is about the extent of my 3D modeling skills. So, we brought in an expert to show us today. As I said, my name is Mr. E. We have Israel Oriana joining us, as well as Mr. Al Luna in our room. And gentlemen, thank you so much for helping us set the room up and bringing the students in today. We are going to explore various subjects every week that have to do with STEAM: science, technology, engineering, math, and art. And then we're going to go and work with Mr. Al up here in his Steamtastic After School Club on Wednesdays.
This is, you have a 2D image, but you can have also a 3D image that is still a 2D image because it's drawn on a piece of paper. All right, so, and on this one, you can see here on this side that these are 3 dimensions figures presented on as 2 dimensions. Now, when I click on this guy, it's still at 2 dimensions. Every time that you're looking at it, because you're looking on the screen, it's still at 2 dimensions. But the perception we have, it is like it is a 3 dimension.
We're watching another episode of Gathering Steam. I am Mr. E. Next week, more 3D modeling and the application thereof to make some cool multimedia projects right here on Gathering Steam. We'll see you next time. And I've been had the opportunity to conduct a 5-week course. That's how Gathering Steam got started online this summer with the VIP program. Of course, used to hold those in live time with the after-school specialists in summertime previous years. This year, we had to go all virtual, so it gave us the opportunity to test drive our capabilities with our new virtual online programming, and it took off. So they asked me this year to do every Thursday with Gathering Steam going live through their Google Classroom, and then come to find out that Al, you're teaching your you call this your Steamtastic program on Wednesdays through your after school program, and boom, you know, Al and I, we come from very different angles on technology. Al, as he said, was an engineering background. Myself, I'm a multimedia and music and audio and video producer, instructional technology, web design, that kind of stuff. So a bit of a different background, and we've decided to put our heads together and merge our talents. And I've been joining Al's STEAM program on Wednesdays, and he's been joining my STEAM programs on Thursdays. And I think we make a good team, Al. What do you think about what we've been doing so far with the kids?
Well, I want to give credit to Nada, because Nada used to be a
she
manager,
suggested
actually.
this partnership. Yeah.
Well, she is the one who brought us together, and within the conversation, it sparked the idea, why don't we do these things together? Mm-hmm. So Nada had I guess the vision to, and the ability as a manager to say, all right, let's talk about this. And naturally, when there is a condition, then things like this can happen. And that's what happened. And that's true. We come from different backgrounds, but one thing that amazed me about this program, the technology programs that we have in the county, and actually the vision of the clubhouses of the Clubhouse Network, is that the goal is not necessarily one line of thoughts, but different specializations bring different views. And so, I can be an engineer, but I don't do what you do. And at the end, we end up doing what we both do. And that's what is amazing about ideas like this. And that's the beauty of a program that comes from MIT, that there is so many layers to understand a program of this nature.
What are the challenges that, I mean, I know what they are as an online educator, but I would like for you to elaborate a little bit more in terms of the newness of all this and some of the challenges that we're facing, dealing with really trying to create engaging content for young people who are now, man, they're online a lot, and many of them are really zoomed out. So challenges that you've seen and how you've overcome them all?
Well, I think that this is a process that was due, and it had to happen eventually. There is a guy on YouTube. His name is Sir Ken Richardson. As many other people that have talked about this issue in education, and Ken says if a guy will come 100 years from the past and he has to go to a classroom, he will not see much difference. I would say at least a few years ago. But if a guy comes from 100 years in the past and he's a doctor, he will not be able to work in a hospital today with all these technologies that they have. So education has been in some sort of a process where it has not been able to adapt to the times. You know, the technology, the kids having phones, the communication that we have today, every day, and the life that these kids are experiencing. So this situation has put us in this new paradigm where we have to figure how we can really change the way we educate our kids and make it more engaging. And if I can tell you that if somebody look into the Clubhouse Network mission and vision, in this I applaud NCS for taking this idea, as many other ones. But this idea was taken 20 years ago. And the idea was is how do we teach kids in a different way? And so now the problem is I wouldn't say it's just us as a tech manager. The problem is the whole institution of how we teach. Because we've been teaching in this new model for many years, but still we're stuck with the old models. And sooner or later, we need to rethink those ideas. So this is a very positive situation because the way education is going with the way jobs are going is totally different. So kids are not learning the same way you did, I did. He needs to be inspired in a different situation.
Absolutely, in this environment, it's doing that. It's also teaching them not only the technology skills, but the communication skills that they need. What we in education would call soft skills, right? Job readiness skills. You know, a student in our STEAM programs may not necessarily like being on camera. Maybe they don't want to make videos for a living. Maybe they don't want to be on TV as a news anchor or a journalist. But certainly these skills and these presentation skills that they're going to be learning, and these communication skills through engaging us in these technologies are going to serve them no matter what career pathway they get in. Correct?
But also as a society, there are so many other elements that we're losing: empathy, understanding of each other, community involvement. There are so many elements that when you think about STEAM, you may say that it has to do only with technology. But an example, there is a program, an international program called Enable, where kids can 3D print uh, fingers, mechanical fingers, and they can be those fingers or hands can be provided to other countries where kids have lost their limbs or their fingers and they need to be replaced for something else. So there are many other technologies that can make us be closer as human beings and as a community and use those resources as a way to become better individuals.
Absolutely. They're learning life skills as well. I say that all the time. Kids ask me, Mr. E, what is STEAM? Well, it's science, technology, engineering, math, kind of all brought together and explored through the expression of art in one way or another. So we use this project-based learning model to introduce these concepts and topics to kids and then let them explore on their own and find their own voice. And so much of this is really it's life skills. It's what you need to be able to navigate life. Set objectives, set goals, map out what you're going to do to meet those goals, when you're going to do it, what are the resources that you have to work with along the way, how do you know when you are successful or when you need to take a look at your work and reassess and maybe start over or tweak something, how do you know when you're done? You know, as I say, to me, STEAM education is life education. Al?
Totally agree with you. And there's so much said about this, but to see implemented, an example I can give you is uh, in general, when you go to school, kids get separated by, I guess, their groups, their friends, or whatever uh, they feel like they need to join. And in our tech centers, the kids are only defined by what they like to do. And the beauty of that is, especially with the concept of equity, is that you bring kids with different backgrounds and they socialize. And what is amazing, at least for what I have seen in my experience, is when you're young, you're not defined by many elements that make you be an adult. And the fact that they can collaborate and be friends and grow up without looking at the stereotypes that we have in life when we're young allow us to create healthier societies. The kids are able to interact with kids that otherwise they may not be able to interact in schools. And that is a very subtle concept, but if you don't look into it well enough, it may go through you without noticing it. But this is one of the beauties that at least Fairfax Tech Centers have based on.
It's pretty cool because then we can extrapolate and expand upon that with through the global Clubhouse network, because kids are also going to then have an opportunity to teach, co-teach, and explore and learn online with people, colleagues, and youth of their own peers, I should say, around the world. So there's a really an amazing opportunity through these technology centers. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. I've got another interview that I need to do, but Al, real quick, why don't we give our contact information out? So if anybody is interested in learning more about the Clubhouse program at the Gum Springs Community Center, I'm going to put my contact information on the screen for you here, and my colleague Mr. Al Luna up in the Reston area. Al, why don't you tell people how to get hold of you, and we'll put your contact information up on the screen as well.
Well, at this point, I'm serving two sites. One is the Reston Teen Center, which is closed temporarily because of the different strategies the county has developed. And the other one is at Southgate Community Center. And most likely, I guess you can put that information on the screen. But this is located in the Reston area. And it's a community center, which is a facility where people can get food, resources. We have a basketball court. But for now, everybody needs to make appointments in case they want to come and join the center or do some work in the center. We still have some virtual. We have virtual classes going through the week, and you can find them at the NCS Connects website. That probably will be also showing on your screen. So those are possibilities that you have in order to be in contact with us.
Absolutely. And Wednesdays at 4 o'clock, students that are FCPS students with a valid login credential, they can go to their after-school programs and find Al's Steamtastic program there, and we'll be live every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Al and I doing some co-teaching, and then every Thursday at 4 p.m. We're going to be online through the Gathering Steam project, where it's done like this. It's where we utilize virtual television to engage the kids and teach them. And so Al's program is sort of the learning lab where we explore and we learn and here in the multimedia aspect. We apply what we learned and make educational videos and teach the kids the digital media arts to help them reinforce what they learned through doing some co-teaching strategies. It's a pretty cool concept. So again, contact information on the screen. Mr. Al Luna, always a pleasure, sir. Thanks so much for coming on the news show to share what we got going on, man. I really appreciate it.
Well, I love what you're doing, Sam. This is a fantastic opportunity for the community to know about what we do. And luckily, you came on board just a few weeks before this whole thing started. And I think it has been a blessing for what we're trying to show to our community. So thank you very much for your work.
Well, I appreciate that very much, and thank you for your work and welcoming me into your classroom every Wednesday with Al Luna and his Wednesday Steamtastic program. Al, thanks so much. We'll see you. Actually, we're going to do some, we're off tomorrow, but we're going to do some programming to get ready for the new year. So thanks again for the opportunity,
Sure.
Al.
All right, take care, Sam.
All right, peace.
This video was produced in partnership with the Gum Springs Community Center's Information Technology Education Program in our new multimedia studios. Join us in the center or online for our virtual classes and let us help you develop your digital media and computer technology projects. Call today for a tour, 703-360-6088.